If you are enjoying this podcast and other podcasts on the Dragon Wagon Radio Network, be sure to check out the Dragon Wagon Shop. Awesome t-shirts and mugs from your favorite shows so you can tout your podcast pride, all while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. And make sure to check it often for new items and limited time designs. So shop now at dragonwagonshop.com and get your dragon swag on.
To this mythology, Paul's a connoisseur. Sarah has an interest, but it's all Greek to her. From Cronus's kid's weird childhood to what's going down in Hades' hood. These fables are bizarre but good. It's myth understood.
Myth understood.
Well, she dabbed. Hi, Sarah. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm so good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. What's going on with your life?
Well, I quit my survival job.
You did? What does that mean?
That means that I will no longer survive in LA. I will drown in debt.
Well, what else is going on?
I also have the pleasure, the honor, the great duty that I was born, it was prophesized that I would do this, of going to Alaska with you for an entire month and doing some children's theater.
Oh, yeah, we're doing that. We're going to sword fight each other.
Yeah.
And we're going to do 3 small fairs, or 2 large fairs, 1 small fair. We're going to be in Fairbanks. We're going to be in Palmer, which is south of Anchorage.
Yeah.
And we're going to be in another. We're going to be somewhere else. We don't know the name
upside down.
Probably the upside down. Yeah. And so yeah, if you're in Alaska during that time and you want to say howdy.
All of August. During that time is all of August.
All of August.
Yeah.
And please say hi. And if you also just want to generally keep up with the exploits of Myth Understood, you can follow us across social media at _Myth Understood. You can follow Sarah at the Sarah Oliver.
Yeah.
And you can follow me at the Paul Bianchi. And speaking of people who have hashtags, there is someone named Vita de Julia, who I may be pronouncing wrong.
You're not.
And she said, or he said, you guys have been the most enjoyable part of my dishwashing routine for nearly a year now. Love the podcast, but I noticed you guys are transitioning into other mythologies before telling the story of Seven Against Thebes. It's part of the Oedipus-themed trilogy, so I hope you'll consider featuring it on the pod. Vita continued to say, before I forget, there is a myth of the Greek hero Cadmus, the brother of Europa. He went on a journey to find a sister after Zeus abducted her and ended up becoming the founder of Thebes. So please talk about that too, which is a coincidence because I also realized that I neglected to talk about Cadmus. And so I was going to talk about Cadmus in today's episode 60. Yeah. Today is episode 60. And not only am I going to talk about Cadmus, but I'm also going to talk about a story that has been the most frequently asked to tell in a different way.
Ooh.
Sort of like Fred Savage in The Princess Bride asking his grandfather to tell the story with more fucking.
Yes. That was a weird thing for an 80s movie that was PG.
It really was. So do you remember Europa?
Yes, I do. She was a bull rider.
She was a bull rider.
She was a cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
And she invented Europe.
Europe was named after her. I guess she could have invented it too. She was just, while she was there, she was like, reinvent this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now you be monarchs and kill each other for a long time.
Yeah.
All of you.
That's all she wanted. So Cadmus was the son of Agenor, who was the king of a city that had several different pronunciations, and I'm never sure which one to use because several different cultural groups lived in the city. The city is spelled Tyre, so this could be pronounced online. You can find people saying it's pronounced Tyre, and you can also find people who say no, it's pronounced Tyr, and you can find people who speak different languages who are saying no, it's pronounced Sur. And there are other people who say Tyrus. So it's that city.
It's just people mutilate stuff.
Yes.
Just like you're talking about in St. Louis, no one will pronounce the French streets correctly, right?
That is absolutely right. If anyone's listening from St. Louis, I lived in St. Louis for many years of my life. One of the things that my mother lamented when we first moved is that there is an area called Creve Coeur, which is certainly not how you would pronounce the word pronounce, but certainly not how you would pronounce a French city, which I believe it should be like more Creve Coeur or something.
Creve Coeur.
Something.
Sacre bleu, let's go to Creve Coeur.
Yeah. Anyway, Cadmus was the son of Agenor and Queen Telephassa. He was also the brother to Europa, who was abducted by Zeus in the guise of a white bull. The white bull just showed up when she was playing with her nymph friends.
Well, she's asking for it then.
And
don't be outside if you don't want Zeus to come a knocking.
And
also, don't be inside. Also, don't be alive.
They were gathering flowers,
which
which is what you do with your nymph friends.
Yeah. It's just a thing ladies do.
Yeah. And he was a white bull, and Europa walked over, and as one would do when they see a giant white bull, let's go pet it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I would.
She went over to pet the bull, and the bull promptly ran off with Europa on his back, and swimming through the sea, he arrived in Crete, where Europa realized that she had been abducted by none other than the chief god himself. Imagine, though, that would have taken days.
Why did she jump off at any point?
I don't know.
Bulls
She
are
was too
scary.
busy going, wee!
Okay. It's not like a freight train.
It is a god bull, though. He probably could have
he was
gone
pretty
very fast. Yeah. To make a long story short, Europa gave birth to 3 sons from Zeus.
Oh wait, he did have sex with her too.
Oh, of course.
Or just sitting on his back got her pregnant.
He grew a dick out of his back.
No artwork for that, guys, please.
She then married a local king because after having sex with her 3 times, he was done with that.
Yep.
And she married a local king and became the first queen of Crete. So since Europa was the apple of the eye to King Agenor, he was devastated by the news of his daughter's mysterious disappearance. So he entrusted his 4 sons, Cadmus, Phoenix, Cilix, and Thassus, on a mission to find Europa. Which of these 4 sons do you think was his favorite?
Say the names again.
Cadmus, Phoenix, Cilix, Thassus.
Phoenix.
Phoenix was his least favorite son.
It's
Phoenix-
also my least favorite city in Arizona. So
There's so many to choose from, though.
no, I know it's just very hot.
Phoenix was asked by his mother Telephassa to have sex with his dad's mistress.
Totally normal. Yeah,
And
what's the problem?
Because of that, his dad really didn't like him the rest of the time.
Mom said
To have sex with Helen. I shouldn't use Helen because it wasn't Helen. It was some other lady. Unnamed. So they all went on this quest to try to find Europa, which I think is sort of a nice thing that I kind of left out from when we were just talking about Zeus and his loves, that Europa was missed and that her
rare.
And that the family went to look for her.
Families giving a shit about abducted daughters is rare in these mythologies. It's true.
Queen Telephassa also accompanied her sons. They searched far and wide for Europa.
Wow, she couldn't send a postcard? She became a queen.
Without getting a clue for her disappearance. No one could find where she went, even though she did become a queen. Yeah.
Wow. It's a dick move.
Yeah. Unable to find his sister, Phoenix gave up the quest first and settled in a place which was said to be later named Phoenicia after him. So like the whole Phoenician empire named after Phoenix. Europa's brothers Cilix and Thassus likewise gave up the search next for their sister and settled in regions, founding cities that were also named after them.
So no one liked where they came from.
Cilicia.
Everyone just made new cities. We're not going back home.
Yes.
Okay.
Cilicia in Asia Minor and Thasos on the small island of the eastern Aegean. On Thasos, all the houses were made out of straw. In Cilicia, they were made out of sticks. And
and the big bad wolf huffed and he puffed.
I just made that up. So no. Just whenever there's brothers building houses.
Yeah.
They're pigs. While his brothers gave up on their search of Europa, Cadmus, along with his mother, settled in Thrace, where Telephassa soon, A, threw a party because she was so tired of walking, B, decided to become queen of this new town, or C, die of grief at the loss of her daughter.
She threw a party.
She died of grief.
Really?
During her party. She died of
No one came.
She died of grief at the loss of her daughter, yeah. After performing the last rites to his mother, Cadmus went on a pilgrimage to the Oracle of Delphi to ask for his sister. And so he shows up at the Oracle and he says, "Oh, great Oracle, it's I, Cadmus, the last of my brothers to still search for my sister Europa. I'm devastated by this loss. My mother just died. I don't know what to do. Oracle, please help me."
You want to find your sister, huh?
I do.
Okay. Just go to Europe.
Go to Europe. I mean, I'm in Europe. I realize this whole continent.
This whole country.
This whole continent was named after her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't know where she is in it.
Oh, she's in her castle. She's a queen. It's like a stupid question. She's a big time queen.
Just then, a voice appeared in the oracle's ear, and it was likely the voice of Zeus. And it said,
"I had sex with her."
It said, "Tell him to just give up. Like she's where she's supposed to be. Just tell him to give up. It's better for him to give up."
So you should just fucking go home. I mean, I realize all of you just bought one-way tickets. No one was planning on going home.
I did. I spent my life savings to look for my sister.
Aren't you guys kind of a big deal where you came from? Who's holding down the fort down there? Just go back there.
My dad and his mistress that
You
my
need to go
brother had
back,
sex with.
Have sex with her too. Go back. Go back.
So the oracle advised him to give up the search for Europa and instead found a new city. He was instructed to follow a cow that he would find outside the oracle's house and build a city on the spot where the cow would stop to rest.
I just love telling people dumb bullshit. It'll be $100,000, please.
All right, here's the rest of my life savings. Sure enough, Cadmus wow.
I had water come up my nose.
Sure enough, Cadmus soon found a place where the cow was, and he followed the cow meters from the oracle, and the cow sat down very soon after he followed it. After crossing a shallow stream near the Cephissus River. Having found the place where he was supposed to build his new city right on the other side of the stream, Cadmus decided to sacrifice the cow to
It's kind of rude.
To a goddess. Who?
Hebe.
No.
His whole life has been so pointless anyways. Just do it.
He decided to sacrifice the cow to Athena, for she is the goddess of heroic endeavors. For that purpose, he sent his companions to look for pure water to do the sacrifice. They found the purest water in a lovely spring, and as they were filling their vessels with water...
I still have water up my nose.
Yeah.
You made me spit water out my nose.
Well, that's great because you were providing sound effects for what attacked them while they were filling their vessels with water. A fierce serpent-like dragon that had the sniffles. He was the guardian of the spring.
Wait, this is the first time we've heard of a dragon.
No. There have been dragons.
Have there?
Yeah.
When the fuck was there a dragon?
There's the dragon that guards the tree with the golden apples.
I don't remember a dragon.
Well.
Wow. Okay. Dragons exist. Great.
Yeah, it was the guardian of the spring, and it emerged from the nearby cave. The dragon happened to be the son of who?
Poseidon.
Ares. The horrid serpent, with its crest-like head and venomous teeth shining like gold, slaughtered all of the unfortunate companions of Cadmus. So he had no more friends.
But he lived.
Cadmus was alive.
He wasn't there.
Yeah. Cadmus was just waiting for him.
Okay.
And when his companions failed to return, Cadmus went looking for them and soon came face to face with the enraged dragon. Cadmus immediately said, "Yo,
can I just have this water?"
What?
Can you go away? Can I just have this water? This is my water. This is my dragon water.
You killed my friends.
I get real thirsty, and this is all my water.
Do you see these shattered pots from my friends' bodies that you killed?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, and like I overreacted, but
do you see this broken piece of ceramic that is from the vessel?
Look, are you gonna give me a hard time about this
Do
murder?
you see me slitting your throat with it?
I was thirsty.
And Cadmus attacked the malevolent monster, and after a fierce struggle, managed to slay it. He then walked back to do his sacrifice that he wanted to do to Athena. And
slaughtering a dragon isn't a big enough sacrifice.
No.
You have to kill a fucking sweet little cow who gave you a town.
And he summoned Athena, and she appeared before him.
Oh, what's up?
Hey, so I just sacrificed this cow to you, Athena, and I also killed a dragon.
Oh, the dragon's good enough.
Oh, well, I hope you like this cow too.
The cow's bullshit. You killed a dragon? That's fucking awesome.
It was, I think it was Ares' son.
That's so cool. Ares is a dick. Ares is a dick. You know how many times he's dropped me off a rehab center? Ares is a piece of shit. And he doesn't get me, and I don't get him. And let's do a shot, because you fucking killed a dragon. You're my best friend.
All right, yeah, let's do a shot. That's cool. You're a cool goddess.
I know. You're a bird.
Oh, no. She did not turn him into a bird. She did tell him to go get the teeth of the dragon and to plant them in the ground.
Because that would be so fucking cool. Could you imagine, like, just dragon teeth in the ground?
And as soon as Cadmus did this, a host of fierce warriors appeared out of the ground. And before Cadmus could even say, like, hey, like, what's up? Who are you guys? The armed men began to ferociously battle among themselves. And at the end of the vicious fight, only 5 of the warriors were left alive and made peace among themselves. And these 5 people were called the Spartoi, or the Sown Men. And they subjected themselves to Cadmus and helped him build the city of Cadmea. If you can't tell, the Spartoi is like origins of like Spartans.
Sparta.
Yeah.
And they came out of dragon teeth. That's the coolest origin story so far.
After a few years, Cadmus renamed the city Thebes after the Egyptian Thebes, which was founded by his father. And so that was how Thebes was founded. It was the first, and the first building was a shrine to Selene, the goddess of the moon. In ancient times, the noble families of Thebes claimed that their descendants came directly from these 5 dragon teeth Spartoi.
I claim that too. I'm going to claim it.
Yeah, that's why you call yourself the Dragon Lord.
I am the Dragon Lord.
In the meanwhile, God Ares was outraged that his son was killed by Cadmus.
It is the coolest of all the sons anyone's had.
That he had a dragon child?
Yes, that's really cool. For once, I feel for Ares, and he's usually a dum-dum.
So how did he punish Cadmus? He, A, challenged him to a wrestling match with both of them being boars. B, he made him have sex with all of his other children. Or C, he punished the valiant hero with servitude for a period of 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah, he sure did that. And after that, Ares not only forgave Cadmus, but he also gave him the hand of his daughter Harmonia in marriage. Harmonia was the daughter of Ares and Aphrodite.
Oh, so she's hot.
Yeah, she's like hot.
Smoking.
Yeah, and she's like toned and like also like very practical,
Yeah.
but also has like a fiery temper.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. I want to marry her too.
The wedding was celebrated in Thebes in the presence of all the gods. Cadmus gave his lovely bride a golden necklace made by the god Hephaestus as a wedding present. And Harmonia then bore Cadmus 5 children, Autonoe, Ino, Semele, Agave, and a son, Polydorus.
I love agave with tequila.
And if you some of those names sound familiar, Semele would later become the mother of Dionysus, and she was the one who was immolated when she saw Zeus in his true form.
Oh, she exploded into flame. Okay.
Yeah. The curse of the dragon, however, was still clinging over Cadmus and his family. So his family members had...
Wait, how?
Well, because I don't know. Because Ares was like, fine, marry my daughter, but still you killed my son.
Wow.
Yeah.
They don't let it go.
No. So his family members had troubles and led a fairly miserable life. Finally, when civil strife assailed the city, he founded Cadmus, abdicated his throne, and along with Harmonia, settled in the land of the Enchelians, which was to the north of the modern Epirus area, and they made him their king again.
So he got kicked out of his own kingdom.
Yeah, he left his kingdom. He said, "I'm done here," and then he moved to another city, and they were like, "Hey, you should be our king."
It's not that bad of a curse.
No, not that bad of a curse.
I've heard worse curse.
Cadmus had another son while he was there, who he called Illyria. And does that name sound familiar to you?
Illyria.
Illyria.
Nope.
Well, I was just thinking because as a fellow Buffy fan, that's who Fred became on Angel.
Oh, yes. Okay. I've only watched through Angel one time versus Buffy 27 times each episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. However, the misfortunes and the tragedies of his family continued to trouble him profoundly. They began to have this strange idea that a serpent would be happier than him. And he would call out at night, Cadmus. He would call out at night like, "Oh, my life is so hard. It'd be just better if I was a serpent."
Hey, what's up, buddy? It's me, Athena. You call, you say you want to be a bird. You're a bird.
So while he was having these thoughts, he was miraculously transformed into a serpent, not a bird. And this was known to be the final curse revenge of the sacred dragon of Ares. Harmonia also prayed to the gods to be allowed to share her husband's fate and was also turned into a serpent.
You're one of those snake birds. There you go, baby.
And on this, at this moment, Zeus carried them off to the Elysian fields, where people favored by the gods go when they're dead.
Wait, are they now dead? I thought they're alive as snakes.
Well, they were alive as snakes, but Zeus was like, they'd be better off dead than the Elysian. I could change them back into humans, but no, I'm gonna make them be dead.
So they're dead, but as snakes.
I think so.
Fucking stupid.
I believe that's how it goes. Anyway, the legacy of this story, as stupid as it is that Cadmus is famous for one thing. It's said that he is the man who introduced writing and the alphabet into Greece, because the alphabet was borrowed by the Phoenicians. So that whole area that Phoenix settled, becoming Phoenicia, was where the initial stages of what would become the Greek alphabet came from.
Hooked on Phoenicia works for me.
Yeah. That's exactly how it works. So what do you think is the second story, the story that has been the most requested to retell the right way?
Retell the right way?
Yeah.
Is it Hercules?
It is not Hercules.
Tell it the Disney way, Paul. Tell it the Disney way.
I won't. I refuse.
Tell it the right way. I don't fucking know.
This story is the story of Persephone and Hades.
Oh, you didn't tell it the right way?
I told it the way that I know it to be told. I told it the way that, like, if you look through old books that show myths told in the classical way, I did my best to tell the story in that classical format. However, the story of Persephone and Hades laid the groundwork for a lot of modern retellings that told the story in, I would say, in some ways, a little bit of a Stockholm syndrome kind of way at its worst and at its best.
Sort of rom-com?
Sort of rom-com. There's also been feminist and spiritual retellings where it's like, this is the classic story of a young woman coming into womanhood and rebelling against an overbearing mother figure.
Okay.
So I wanted to combine what I picked up from these kinds of retellings and now tell this story, hopefully in a way that the people who have been requesting that I tell the story this way will be satisfied by.
Never.
So I now present to you Persephone retold.
Ooh. Do, 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 do. Scene painting.
That's very nice. Demeter, nature goddess of the harvest, was getting old. Despite being a goddess, she was still subject to the ravages of age that can bring that like time brings to a woman's reproductive system.
Wait, why? Because
I
no
don't-
one else is.
I don't know.
Literally no one else.
Well, that's part of the way that this is told. So she was worried about her goddess clock running up, and she really wanted a child. But she also didn't know how to date.
No, who does? I can't.
She didn't want to, and she didn't even really want to date so much as she just wanted a child. And this was before there were sperm banks. So she went to the biggest sperm bank that she could think of, which was her brother Zeus. Yeah. This is classically in the classical versions of the myths a rape situation. But in this version that I have found in like G-rated tellings of this text and other reclamations of this myth, Demeter instead asks her brother Zeus to give her a child.
Okay.
Zeus says, all right, Demeter, that's okay, but we're going to have to do things my way.
Oh, Jesus. What does he do to her?
All right, Demeter.
What does he turn her into?
This is how it's going to go. I want you to transform yourself into a snake.
I fucking knew it.
And I need you to meet me in the middle of Hera's garden at midnight as a snake. No questions asked.
I have so many questions, but okay.
So,
All that I want is a little baby. I'm turning into a serpent.
So Zeus meets Demeter at midnight, and Demeter's there as a snake, looking as like the hottest snake that she can.
Anaconda.
And another snake slithers up to her and is like, yo.
Zeus?
Yeah,
Why are you a small garden snake? I'm an anaconda.
well,
You should have been more specific.
I'm a small garden snake, and I'm gonna get it.
Oh.
And so they get it on, coiled around each other, animal style. And this is how Demeter loses her virginity in the story, and it's likely how Demeter henceforth believes all normal sexual encounters go.
Oh, no.
Regardless, Demeter gets preggers, and she quickly pops out Persephone, her pride and joy. Persephone would be her goddess of spring. Demeter quickly becomes that mom who posts nonstop photos of her baby on Instagram.
Mhm.
She gets a baby on board sticker on her minivan.
Yep.
She does not let anyone else hold her.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Persephone is her baby. She dresses her in pretty little dresses. She styles her hair. She does not hang out with anyone else. All of her previous friends are like, where did Demeter go? Oh, she's a mom now.
Fuck.
Persephone becomes Demeter's entire world. And in Persephone's childhood, she adores her mother. And this is like great for her. She's like, I get nonstop attention. This is awesome.
So does Persephone know if Zeus is her father? Or is it like,
It
don't
doesn't
worry about
even
it?
matter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because then, Hera be crazy.
Hera's crazy, but Demeter in this version is crazier than Hera.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
The only one to send in against Hera.
As Persephone reaches her adolescence, she starts to feel smothered by her mother's love.
Well, you know what? Just accept it.
Hmm.
Just have a nice mom. But is she like, you can't go out with your friends, that kind of smothered?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
you can't
then
go with your friends. You can't cut your own hair. I've had a few friends like this growing up.
Oh, no, I don't like that. I thought
Yeah.
she was sending her like sweet texts or like, notes in her lunchboxes. Did you ever see those like kids where they have this wonderful relationship with their parents and they're like, fucking it's so annoying. Just let them love you.
This is borderline that true crime story with the girl who wasn't actually sick, but her mom
Okay,
pretended that
that's
she was
too
sick.
much.
Yeah.
All right. I'm on board.
Enter Persephone's uncle Hades. It's an important thing to remember that regardless of which version is being read, unless it's an entire re-envisioning, that Hades is always Persephone's uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Always. So, anyway, Hades doesn't come up to Olympus much unless it's rare for like family gatherings.
Yeah. Thanksgiving.
He's a misunderstood bad boy. He's like Snake from Snake. He's like Snape from Harry Potter. He
Ooh.
wears black and has pale skin.
He's not more attractive than that?
He can be more attractive than that.
I mean, this is the romantic retelling.
Yeah.
He's like emo.
Mm-hmm. He's very pale though because he lives in the underworld and he's kind of goth.
He's like Angel from Buffy.
Sure.
There you go. Our second one.
We're just gonna mention it the entire episode. Hades is wealthy because he collects gold from mortals when they die. He also drives a black vintage coupe. I just assume. At this particular party, Persephone is at indeterminable age. She's a beautiful youth. She's a young woman. She's an ingenue. She's somehow of consenting marrying age. She sees Hades and leans over and asks Artemis.
What? I'm saying grace. It's Thanksgiving.
Who's
I'm saying
that?
grace to myself because I'm a god.
Who's that? Oof.
Uncle, you want to fuck?
Yeah.
Don't even bother with him. That's Hades. He's like super into like 80s punk, like not mainstream stuff.
Oh my God. I'm also like sort of a wallflower, and so I get that.
No, he's annoying.
He's annoying in what way?
Well, like you'll have an opinion on something and he'll tell you like you're so wrong and then go on for like 45 minutes about why this like other movie was so much better from like the 1970s that nobody saw.
No, that's cool because I need to be told like what if my opinions are good or bad.
Oh, he'll do that.
Oh, that's great. So Artemis gives her advice like, you know what, your mother would hate it if you were seen talking to Hades. Like she doesn't really like Hades. She like your mother seems to only love you. And like just at that moment, Demeter like walks up and she's like, oh, you girls look so pretty. Let me take a picture. And she like tries to take a picture of them. And then she's like, take your hand off her, Artemis. And meanwhile, Hades meets up with Zeus, who's drinking with Poseidon and Hermes. And he's like, yo guys, who's that beautiful young but like not so young that it's weird woman over there?
It's my daughter. I mean, it's a daughter of another god, Demeter.
Wait, is that the product of the snake sex that you had with Demeter?
No, it's her around. Yeah, I fucked her as a snake.
Oh.
It was good. I had a little snake dick.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, I forgot. I went to her first birthday party and I like imprinted on her like Jacob did with Edward on Bella's baby.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that story, and I hate that you brought it up.
Hades and Persephone then proceed to have like that exact moment from Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet where they like stare at each other through the aquarium and then they kiss in the elevator.
Oh yeah.
That happens at this party before being separated and losing one another. After the party, Persephone dreams about running away with Hades. This change in her demeanor just reveals itself in explosive arguments with her mother. If there are any Mythfits who are listening who had that relationship with your mother where you were in your early teens and you like yelled and rebelled in your adolescence.
So if there are all of every female ever.
I don't know if I don't know if that's fair to say everyone had that.
The second the hormones come out, it's girl versus mom.
Yeah.
All of us.
Well, if that was you, that's what happens in this story.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Hades calls up Zeus and says, hey, I'm completely enamored with your daughter Persephone. I want to marry her. And Zeus says, oh, perfect. Demeter would never approve, but she needs to chill out, so I have a plan. And so one day, Demeter arranges like a really annoying flower collecting party for Persephone, like trying to buy her love. Persephone is way too old for this stupid shit, and Demeter has it planned anyway. So it's like we're doing crafts outside. There are balloons.
It's like an Easter egg hunt, but you're now probably 14 years old.
There's like hippie guitar songs and face painting, and like while this is happening, Zeus shows up to distract Demeter at this party, and so meanwhile Persephone like is watching Demeter like walk off and have like a friendly like shooing away but like kind of an arguing moment with Demeter and Zeus, and she's like they're like doing paint me pottery but it's like Greek vases, and
Yeah.
she's like painting a like crass caricature of her mom on her vase. Like, I hate this, but she's gonna hate this more. And then the shadow of a black bird flies overhead, and Persephone looks up, and she's like, "What was that black bird?" And she like follows it out into a field, and
She finds a hot topic, and inside is Hades.
and suddenly in this open field, the ground opens up, and Hades is there on a jet black chariot drawn by black horses, holding a black rose, and he hands it to Persephone, and he's like, "Want to get out of here, niece, babe?"
What the fuck did you just do? This is the coolest shit. Yes.
And he takes her hand, and she willingly escapes her mother's smothering embrace and descends into the underworld. In the underworld, Persephone finds herself subject to more freedoms than she was used to under her mother's watchful eyes. Hades has a bunch of cool old shit. He treats her really nice and respects her space as she gets used to his new home. As she explores, he sort of clings to the shadows, reclusive, brooding, and odd. And Persephone thinks to herself, I think we could be really good for each other. He has like eccentricities and occasionally an anger problem, but I think I can fix him. When he's with me, I can tame this savage beast that's inside of him. So
Always a great start.
yeah.
Just meet someone and try to change them from the inside out.
Mm-hmm. They continue further. They make love. Hades cries and offers her a crown.
Ew. Ew. That's how it happens?
Yeah.
It says he cries?
Yeah.
Ew.
He brings icy tears down his cheek because it's so cold down there.
Is it cold?
Yeah.
It's hell.
Yeah. In a lot of classical Greek depictions of hell, it's icy and frigid in the underworld. He offers her a crown, and this crown means that she'll become queen of the underworld. And Persephone...
And they're already married or no?
They're not married yet.
Ooh, she's doing it out of wedlock.
And so Persephone says yes. She cuts her hair. She dyes it black. She gets a septum piercing. And she says, I'm all in, baby.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the phone is ringing off the hook because Demeter has found out from Helios where Persephone is.
Helios is the nosiest piece of shit.
It's his job to be all seeing.
Oh my God.
And Demeter claims that Persephone was taken by Hades against her will, and she wants her back. Otherwise, Demeter will starve the entire planet with eternal winter. And
wow.
Zeus goes to Hades, and he says, I'm sorry, man. I got to take your new wife away.
She's the only one who understands me.
Demeter's just got my balls in a vice.
She's the only one I can talk to.
Meanwhile...
do you want to see some vintage movie posters?
I've seen them, man. I've seen them. You gotta. I just need to send Hermes to come down and collect Persephone.
I'm gonna put on one of these rare first pressings while you do that.
Persephone overhears this. She's like listening from the hallway. There's like a crack in the door, casting light on her mascaraed eye, and she runs away to hide in the underworld where Hermes can't find her. While she's hiding in the kingdom of the dead, she finds herself in a pomegranate orchard, and a snake shows up. And the snake is like, "Why are you so sad, emo girl?"
Are you my dad?
I'm not your dad. I'm just a snake that lives in the underworld.
My dad was a snake.
No, I'm Cadmus. I was turned into a snake, and then I was
what's up?
brought here to the underworld. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sad because my mom's a total bitch, and she doesn't just like let me stay married to my uncle.
Oh, well, so that's kind of fucked up. But I mean, no judgy. Hey, if you want to stay here, all you gotta do is eat a pomegranate. The food of the dead binds you forever to the underworld. You cannot leave here for more than 6 months without returning. It's sort of like a contract that's written in the rind of every pomegranate.
Can I change my shirt? Because pomegranates are really messy and they stain.
Yeah. I'll look away.
You're peeping.
I can't help it. I have nothing to cover my eyes with. So she eats the pomegranate, and that makes the story conclude in the way that we know the story concludes, is where she now spends 6 months out of the year in the underworld, and during that time Demeter's sad, and then she spends the other 6 months up above during summer and spring when she's with Demeter.
And did they make amends in this version?
that's not really covered as much. I think it is. I would venture to say that that's the way that some of them end is with like, okay, the Demeter must accept that her daughter has become a woman and they grow and change. But also, I mean, if this is fusing classical Greek mythology with this version of the story, while Demeter is searching for Persephone, she is so overcome with grief. Remember, she like eats the shoulder of that boy.
Yeah, I forgot.
She gets raped by Poseidon and has Arion the horse boy with him.
Jeez.
So she's got other children after this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Demeter's a mess. We
She
didn't,
really is.
talk enough about Demeter, did we?
No. But yeah, so that's the kind of romanticized version of the love between Persephone and Hades. In this version, what I do like about it as a reclamation is that Persephone has a lot more agency in it. It's her choice to remain in the underworld because she knows that she'll have to leave forever unless she eats the pomegranate.
Yeah.
As opposed to her classically being tricked by a serpent into eating the pomegranate, which is a lot more Garden of Eden, sort of like women are susceptible to coercion from snakes. That classical trope. So
the snakes are always like, you can park here, Sarah. It says 30-minute parking, but you can park overnight. And I wake up with a parking ticket every day.
That does happen.
Every day in LA.
The snakes will get you.
Well, that was sweeter. I feel like it's definitely like you said, a female with more agency, which leads me to believe it is less factual as far as the origins of the myths, because that was never their main concern.
It wasn't generally that way, but one thing to remember too is as we are bringing Greek mythology to a close is that the mythology and goddess worship in ancient Crete was a lot more friendly towards matriarchal goddesses, and Persephone herself was a more archaic goddess before being brought into Greek mythology. So who's to say that her original story as Queen of the Underworld wasn't something where she had more agency to begin with before it was changed by the patriarchal classical Greek writers.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? Yeah. So that's sort of, I think that's an important thing for anyone who's studying Greek mythology to remember, is that there never is one set way that is more valid than another.
There's just people yapping.
Yapping
to different people and changing it and never writing it down for a long time.
Yep.
Great. I enjoyed that.
Good.
And I was sad about the dead dragon still.
Me too. Moo 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 moo.
Hi, I'm sure you've seen me on the sides of buses and on park benches. I'm Maurice the real estate cow. Move anywhere you want. Just follow me until I get sleepy. I'll lay down, and that's your house.
Hi, my name's Devin, and I followed Maurice the real estate cow to the side of a cliff. And he laid down right there at the side of the cliff, and that's where I had to build my house.
What a view! Moo!
Hi, I'm Eddie, and I followed Maurice the real estate cow to the base of a volcano, and I built my house there.
Oh, keeps you warm in winter. Brrr.
Hi, I also followed Maurice the moving cow, and he never stopped walking. I'm following him still right now.
I gotta get my steps in. I got a Fitbit. Brrr. And anywhere I take a dump, you can turn that into a shopping mall. But I'm not gonna stop there. Just a quick little dump and keep moving.
Thanks, Maurice.
Poops are commercial real estate.
Poops. Well, that was a wonderful way to end. Thank you for listening to another episode of Misunderstood. As always, please rate and review our podcast. It helps people find us, and that's a good thing to do.
That is a good thing. Do it.
If you would like to follow us on social media, again, we are at _Mythunderstood across social media. She is the Sarah Oliver. I am the Paul Bianchi. And visit that shop. There are new designs that come out on the Dragon Wagon Radio shop. Jake was just at Comic-Con with Alexandra, and they were walking around wearing various shirts that are available.
Yeah, and merch isn't just one way you can celebrate us. Aren't we going to create a Patreon soon, like so many have been requesting?
Yeah, I think that would be an excellent way to continue making this podcast happen.
Yeah, so maybe shoot us over some ideas on Instagram or Twitter of what you would like for a Patreon that we're going to set up soon.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Hey, guys, I'm really excited to introduce you to a friend of ours. It is Jake Lloyd.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hello, Jake. Just looking at you gives me daddy issues. Can you tell me why?
It's probably because I ooze daddy issues, and you would be surprised at how many other people also ooze daddy issues, as well as many other issues. In fact, you ooze a little bit of daddy issues, Sarah.
A little.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gushing daddy
Yeah.
issues.
I know that because you were on an episode of my podcast, Elaborate, in which you sort of delved into your incredible relationship with your father. And we talked about PTSD. We talked about his insane background as a comedian in LA. It was really quite a fascinating conversation. And that's one of the great things about my podcast is I get to sit down with people that I know and learn even more about them. It's not therapy, but it's not therapy.
Okay, where do we find this thing?
You find it at elaboratepod.com or iTunes, Stitcher, wherever podcasts are found.
It's Dragon Wagon.